Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and I got to tell you, it gives me absolutely 100% no pleasure to tell you that I was right. I told you this was what was going to happen, and I've been covering this story for a couple of years. What am I talking about? Harvey Weinstein ain't going to do a day in jail, not even at a country club prison. No. Little slappy on the wristy, little pay of some money, and more than likely some kind of a ridiculous probation or work release program, or, he'll have to seek a counselor, and, he's the victim here. He's the victim. So if you haven't been on your phone or you haven't checked the news recently, check it out. Looks like he struck a $25 million deal with his accusers. Now, before we get into what I think is really important here, the fact that Weinstein, not only being in Hollywood, had dirt on and power over a lot of people, but people like Ehud Barak were not only his friends, Jeffrey Epstein were not only his friends, right? But what's the real deal here? Oh, that's right. He was connected to Black Cube. Black Cube, which is basically different members of foreign or not foreign, I'm sorry. I don't want to say former because you never know what they're working for, but Israeli intelligence. Ehud Barak is the one that suggested it to him. And Ronan Farrow and others were harassed by them. And, I've gone over those stories at length. But to point out that I told you that this was coming, all right? This is from 2018, June of 2018. So not this June, not 6 months ago I told you it was coming, but a year and a half ago I'm like, look, it's not looking good. You've got to understand. Some of these women who jumped into these claims, clearly after the abuse had taken place, still kept in touch with him, tried to be friendly with him. A lot of these people are very fake people. They're the type of people to literally sell their bodies and souls for fame. Think about that. So not every claim was what it was. And I know we're supposed to believe all women and it's me too and them too, but that was all hype. That was all selective outing, okay? To create a fervor of manufactured outrage to use it against those they wanted to. Conor McGregor's story is probably one of the greatest examples of that right now. We're now over a year ago. Conor McGregor, all the evidence shows, according to a high-level police source, that his victim allegedly was brutally beaten, suffered a horrendous ordeal, and you know the rest. You know the rest. But hey, he's worth a lot of money to a lot of people. $25 million would be a drop in the bucket for Conor, and it's a drop in the bucket for Harvey. First of all, most likely insurance companies will take the hit there, okay? But seeing Weinstein's connection and that he's been walking free this whole time. Oh, but he's got a limp and he looks terrible. Getting out of this one. Just like Dennis Hassert. What did he do? He served 15 months. Not even? Oh, that's right. He was sentenced 15 months. He did less than that. It's weird how these guys, these predators on so many levels, not just of young, unsuspecting women or even, predatory women in Hollywood. I'll say that, You look at Rose McGowan, for instance, and she's done some questionable things, but that's part of the Hollywood system, right? Guys, this summer, Weinstein's lawyers were all saying he was going to go free. And then November, what if Harvey walks free? He's walking free. It's happening. And to get into Black Cube and his army of spies, you really have to get into Ronan Farrow's work and how long it took him to even break this story. And a lot of people want to credit Ronan Farrow with this wave of people, telling their stories. That's great. That's good. This is good journalism. I mean, if you haven't read these yet, I think it's a 4-part series. Might even be 5. It's all from his book. The New Yorker published excerpts. It's a pretty incredible story, okay? Pretty incredible story. When you're talking about Black Cube and you're talking about real espionage and you're really talking about for-hire work for Hollywood's elite. And remember, when we talk about the Weinsteins of the world walking, we can't help but talk about the Spaceys of the world walking. One of his accusers just suddenly dies, and that case goes away. And nobody really questioned Kevin at first when sexual assault allegations were made by a fellow actor who said when he was just 14 years old, he was plied, with alcohol from Kevin in a hotel room, and he tried to come on to him. That's not coming out as gay. That's coming out as a sexual predator of children. That's what that is. And he still wants to make a comeback. And who else is he connected to? People like, I don't know, Bill Clinton. He also rode the old Epstein plane. So this guy's reach was far, just like Harvey's reach is far. Look, if you think that Harvey Weinstein is where the story ends just in Hollywood, you haven't looked into his brother Bob, have you? You don't know anything about that, do you? So, Ronan Farrow worked vigorously to get this story out because, you had audio tapes of the man trying to apologize for an incident where he corners a woman while, doing the business to himself into a tree. Who does that? That's some sick, sick stuff, especially because it goes way, way beyond just, any kind of sexual pleasure for somebody like this. What do I mean? I mean, he's got all the money in the world, right? So prostitution is a real thing. And believe me, prostitution and escorts in California, especially in Hollywood and Los Angeles, it's a very real thing. So at any moment, he could just pay, $25 million. Think about how many lap dances that gets you, Harv. How many back to the hotel rooms, how many champagne rooms it gets you, Harv. And I'm sure he did that. And I'm sure he took to that many, many, many times. But that's not enough, is it? No, 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 no. It's a power thing. It's a sick as, oops. I don't want to harass Harvey Weinstein. There's a new set of rules on Twitter. I wouldn't want people to gang up on Harvey Weinstein. Me pointing out the news that this guy was absolutely a predator. Even, I'm going to forget her name, Kate Beckinsale, said that Harvey Weinstein tried to get her when she was 17. 17 years old. And so far, that's the youngest we know of any of his alleged victims. But, like I said, this goes well, well beyond just, you know what I'm saying here. I'm pretty upset about all this. I feel like I saw it coming. Me Too is nothing but a joke to smear certain people. I don't know what it really gained us. Was it because of Me Too that anything happened to Epstein? I think that's a totally different deal. Many of us were screaming and crying when Me Too was a thing. Well, what about Jeffrey Epstein? Why have you been ignoring that? And of course, we have the ABC News footage, but I'll say it again. Where was CNN? Where was Fox News at any high level when you had Filthy Rich out there? And Filthy Rich had a lot of things that were not public knowledge. And right now, we're still waiting on those 10,000 pages. By the way, for those that don't know, Dershowitz had court on Friday. Now, I'm going to be doing a whole video on that. And why do I talk about Dershowitz? Because Dershowitz is in with Epstein. And these guys slither in the same circles. If you saw my video with Derek Bros of the Conscious Resistance during my 24 and 24, really ended up being 26, but you'll know that. Like Jack Scarola said that. The lawyer, they slither in the same circles. And nobody's talking about that court hearing with Dershowitz on those pages at all in the media. Instead, they focused on Dershowitz and impeachment and then other slight cases with Epstein, not mentioning that he's still in litigation and this is still ongoing. Flickoff said, would never tell you how to run your great show, bro, but have you considered doing some positive and uplifting videos sometimes? Focusing on this dark content can tint your view of humanity. I'm so glad you said that. So we're going to end this video suggesting a very good video that I did in the 24 and 24. Actually, I'm going to give you two that are pretty uplifting. First of all, Walking the Walk, How to Change the World with Kaler Carpenter. A massive 624 reviews. It probably didn't come up in your feed. That's why you got to go to youtube.com/ it's not even Jason Justice 911, InfoWarrior /InfoWarrior. Go to the video section. You want to go to Walking the Walk, How to Change the World with Kaler Carpenter. Very uplifting story right there. And then Be the Ripple Effects, Positive Change 24 and 24 with Ricky Varendas. I think there's a lot of very positive stuff there. Again, starting with this Big Fish video all the way up through Feel the Frost. That was all 26 and 24. There's a full playlist on that, but those are two really positive ones that you can go check out. I'm going to be doing a full video on Dershowitz and these 10,000 pages and how the media is ignoring it and now talking to him about impeachment like that matters, like he should be some authoritative voice. Remember, it's always trying to promote these authoritative sources. We're going to read the new official YouTube blog post on the new rules for content creators here on air and dissect them with you guys. That's another video coming up later this evening. And if you didn't know, I'm a documentary filmmaker. So far, Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture are still all free right here in the playlist section. We'll see how long that lasts. I have not gotten a notice that any of my videos have been taken down, although you'll see that there's a lot of different people right now with that hashtag trending, YouTube party over. Let's see. So there it is. Subscribe. You want to financially support me? This is the way I do it. It's a GoFundMe. There's no Patreon. There's no Subscribe Star. I already do have a BitChute, guys, and all that other stuff. And, you know, we will move to another platform. We'll still have the GoFundMe. So hopefully you guys will follow me along. I know I want to stay on this platform. It's still the biggest and best platform out there, and I really hope that they hear the true voices of all of you out there that watch YouTube and that enjoy content creators. So for some positive stuff, go check out the video with Kaler Carpenter, please. And I will absolutely see you guys on the flip side.